My name is Jessica Goodman, and I'm doing my project on flipped classrooms. The flipped classroom is a new pedagogical method which employs asynchronous video lectures and practice problems as homework, and active group-based problem-solving activities in the classroom, which is the idea that students are able to learn at their own pace and without having to pay an outrageous amount of money. This is applying a certain pressure on physical academic institutions to improve and enhance the in-person educational experience of their students. In a traditional setting, students have a lecture inside the classroom, whereas outside they are given practice exercises and are told to problem solve their way out of confusion. This is where the flip in flipped classrooms come into play. In the reading, they talked about the idea of having students watch a lecture for homework so that they can come to class ready to do their practice exercises, and if they have any questions about the lecture, they are able to ask the teacher. Then, the teacher is able to help students hand-on and can turn these traditional homework questions into examples of the correct way to do it. There are two ways you can go about this flipped classroom model: online education and active learning. As it stated in the video, online learning has been proven to be just as effective as in-class learning, and we must still keep in mind that sometimes minority students could have troubles. The other route of active learning can be very beneficial in class because it gives time for the students to have group discussions or watch a teacher demonstration. These two ideas also sometimes go hand in hand under the model of a flipped classroom. There was actually a study done at UCI from 2013 to 2015 where they tested to see if a flipped classroom improved student learning. In the first year, they found that flipped classrooms had a small advantage over traditional classrooms. However, they also discovered one of the biggest disadvantages when it comes to this model, which is most students either don't have the discipline or just not used to the idea of learning the material before class. Clintondale High School put this new idea of flipped classroom to the test in a real school setting after seeing the decline of grades in most of their core classes. Here, teachers got to see how much students actually struggled with some lessons, and their problems were fixed much faster because there was time in class to work with them one-on-one. The topic this week was very interesting to me because I've never been exposed to the idea of a flipped classroom. After reading the article and watching the videos, I became even more interested with this new model and began thinking about why more teachers don't take this approach. I agree very much with this new integration of learning and could see it becoming the framework for almost every public school in the near future. However, I don't believe it will be taken in very kindly. Teachers will be confused and students will have to discipline themselves into doing the main part of learning by themselves, just like what we learned at Clintondale High School. This reading really got me thinking about technology inside and outside the classroom. I believe more and more kids are being exposed to some form of technology every year. It is becoming common for a kid to have a phone and computer in more high school levels, and is practically required at the college level. Although this is one of the big barriers of having a flipped classroom work, I believe it will soon be a problem of the past and should start being integrated into as many high school classes as possible. School funding should be focused on supplying students with computers so that they can be prepared for college and won't be disadvantaged because of never being exposed to doing schoolwork on one before.